What I've learned is that there are tools that we can use to make it much simpler. I'm going to be sharing with you examples of why I love these supplies. Just mute me and put it on 1.5 speed and just see what the hell did she buy? What is she like? I'm Tara. This is Tara Tripoli Arts. Welcome if you're new and welcome back if you're not new. I've been an artist for nearly 30 years. I'll put a few images on the screen so you can kind of see my vibe. I thought today I would show you my top 10 adult coloring supplies to really elevate our pages into art. I am going to have some honorable mentions. Be sure to stay all the way to the end because friends, you are not going to believe my top 10 art supply. I got into adult coloring because of my experience as an artist. I began illustrating word search books. I am working on a dedicated coloring book. It's just not done yet. Friends, I am a perfectionist and I'm working on that. And so many of my friends, you guys are so supportive and I really appreciate it. I am going to get it done, but your girl's got a lot of coloring to do and things to buy. Can I get a thumbs up if you love videos like this? If you don't like chatty style videos, friends, I don't know how well we're going to get along. I only know how to be me. And as so many of my awesome new friends have told me, I'm not going to apologize for being me, nor should you apologize for being you. So if this isn't your jam, maybe another one of my videos would be. Friends, we have so much to go over and I'm so flipping excited about this. So let's get straight into it. First up is Prismacolor colored pencils. This was rather surprising to me because when I first, and I'm not new to Prismacolor. Decades ago, I started using Prismacolor, but I've never really been much of a colored pencil artist. Oil paints is much more my jam. Friends, I haven't used oil paints in coloring books yet. I did use my acrylic paints. Stay tuned for more information on that. I used that in a collab with Joe from Piggy Pen's Tube in a Winter Wonder from R.J. Hampson collaboration. Definitely watch Joe's video. It brought tears to my eyes. She's a flipping amazing person. R.J. Hampson commented on it. It was such a great experience, but I had like this much time to get that page done. So I busted out my acrylic paint. I don't recommend doing it, but the page came out. The page came out great. So I am planning on trying oil paint. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. When I first started coloring, I really wasn't very impressed with Prismacolor, but frankly, I wasn't really using them correctly. So let me show you. I don't store the Prismacolor in the tin because it's not really easy to access the pencils that way. So I did transfer them to this case, and you see some pencils are missing because I'm always working on whips. I love to start things. I love to start paintings. I've always had at least 35 whips going with my paintings. And some of these whips I still have for more than like 15 years. And I'll probably finish them or maybe not. I don't know. So I love being able to see my pencils. I have the full set of the Prismacolors. One of the things I learned with regards to Prismacolors is it's really not the best to press hard. I have had the best success with lightly applying pressure. I also don't necessarily like to go all in with Prismacolors and use them for all of my work. I like to, and I'm going to show you what I mean, an example. What I love to do is to start with alcohol marker. So you might have seen this page before. It's close to being done. Was this the first ever live stream? It was. My first ever live stream that I did. We started this page and we based it in alcohol markers. And then I started coming over the top with Prismacolors. I love doing this because I find I need about 3 to 5 pencils with the Prismacolors. As long as I start my basing with the alcohol markers with a middle value, it makes the process so quickly. I do have a demonstration of these leaves in a like little snippets video for how do I get a 3D effect. Definitely watch that video if you missed it. You guys told me it was really helpful. So this is one example. I want to show you another example. Tales from a Forest Kingdom, and it's this page. You guys told me you love this, and I'm not done with her. I just really have to do her hair. She's pretty much done. But her face, I based with Polychromos. So another tip I have for you is to start with an oil-based pencil. to really build dimension, because I can layer about 10 layers of the Polychromos and then fix the page, either fix it or you can try, see if you can get any Prismacolor on top. I came over the top with Prismacolors and it just made everything so smooth and luxurious, in my opinion. I am going to fix the page and see if I want to do any more, to her face. So that's another way in which you can use your Prismacolor colored pencils. Another way in which I love using my Prismacolor colored pencils is over markers. I based this page in Tombows. You might have seen this in my Sunday Vibes video. I think I showed this past Sunday Vibes. Do you guys like that series? It's kind of like my weekly, what have I been working on this week, and also some sort of a tutorial. A lot of my friends said they love this video, but then I have had a few people unsubscribe. I don't want to put out videos you don't want to see. So please let me know if you are interested in seeing what I work on each week, okay? So I based it in Tombows and I came over the top with the presents, the duck scarf, the mittens. You can see instantly from looking at this page what I have come over the top. This was so simple. 3 to 5 pencils. Get so much detail because I started with a middle value. So I highly recommend doing that. So do you have Prismacolors? Do you like them? I do have other wax-based pencils, but I love the depth of color of Prismacolors. I would love to know, what are your favorite wax-based pencils? Because you girls always looking to spend more money. I'm kind of kidding and I'm not kidding. Next up, Sarah Renee Clark's Swatch decks. You might be like, what are you, some type of a spokesperson for Sarah? No, I am an affiliate, but it's because I believe so strongly in her products. So when I bought the Swatch decks, I bought 3 wooden cases, and each case comes with, each of the cases come with 4 swatch decks, and each of the swatch decks are 24 strips. Friends, I don't know why I bought so many. I was so afraid I wasn't going to have enough, and you get a deal like if you get more things. If there's a buy everything button, I'm for sure pressing it. And I'm not even through the first box. So does that mean I need more supplies or I needed less of these? So what I've been doing with the swatch decks, I'll show you. So this swatch decks, it's backwards. This swatch decks are my colored pencils. I love it because at a quick glance, I can look at, okay, I'm using this in Polychromos. Let me go to my Prismacolors and see what shade is going to go really well with that. Do I want to do like this and this? Like, is whatever I started with the Polychromos, do I want to have a color that's similar? Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to use a complementary color, which can be really exciting. I love that I decided to make this, like the swatch decks. I am so indecisive, friends. So I made this one, just these 2 pencils. I did take them apart, and you can kind of see here the evidence. And my husband helped me by making this jig for me so that I can draw additional lines, which is so I can fit more, because I was so worried I wasn't going to have enough space. I didn't have to be this worried. I don't know, maybe it would have been better if I would have stuck to the same color family on each one, because if you notice, like the grays are like bleeding over and I have a red. I don't know. Do you guys have these and how do you use them? Because I can't ever make up my mind. And then I've got another swatch deck started. Again, I had it in backwards with my Derwents. So this is my more water-based, the Zigs, the Stedler, and my Languo gel pens. I did start doing the gel pens by writing on the back. I don't recommend doing that. I am going to redo those because I don't want to have to flip these over, because sometimes I'm like, I thought I swatched out the Pentel Sparkle. I did. I just couldn't find them. So this is how I've started using these swatch decks. But one of the reasons why I love them so much is because of the next product. So I'm going to show the next art supply product that I feel is really elevating my art because it goes with this. Hang on. Sarah Renee Clark's color cubes. I did have the first edition of the color cubes, and I bought them a couple of weeks before the new ones came out. So I did gift those to my son. If you don't know, my youngest son, Kevin, he's a web developer, and he's like, Mom, these would be so great to build websites. So I gave it to him and he loves it, but I wanted the new ones because there were more. So you have so many cards, and I wanted to have I wanted the tabs. I love being able to see at a glance what they are. I will say I bought these and I was really glad I bought them, but then I found I wasn't really using them that much. Now, almost every single page I do, I'm grabbing color cards because it just removes pressure. It removes pressure. So this is how I've been using the swatch decks and the color cards together. So I will grab a card. So let's say, I'll just take the last card to make it simpler. Let's say I want this color scheme right here. I will grab my swatch decks. You can either do it from this side or you can flip it over so that you could see the light, middle, and dark. That's usually what I do. And I will look for this blue color here. Maybe I'll go with this one. This is not a good example because I don't have the full set. So let's get the pencils because this is really my favorite way of doing things. All right, so I get out the brown. Let's say I'm looking for this copper color. I can find my 3 colors very simply like this. Like, okay, I think I want to go with this one for the middle color, and maybe I want to do this. So I'm going to do these 3 colors. It's just so easy. I can get my entire palette in a few minutes. Do you need this stuff to do this? No. Did this elevate my experience? Without a doubt, yes. Because I want to color as much as possible. I don't want to spend hours trying to figure this out. I didn't use palettes, color cards, swatch decks with oil paint. I never swatched anything out. I didn't even need a lot. 5 colors, for the most part, is all I ever needed. It's a very different experience creating art from nothing when I can go over the painting because of the opaqueness, even though I can also have oil paint translucent. Because of the opaqueness of oil paint, I have no fear. With these books, friends, I got some fear. Your girl's got some fear. I don't want to screw it up. Who's with me? I can't be the only one afraid of screwing it up. So this removes that fear because I already know what am I doing. So I want to show you an example in a page that I'm working on. I will say it's also really fun to grab these down. I have them right now up in a cabinet. They are going to be front and center in my new office/studio as soon as it's done. Are you subscribed, friends? You definitely want to be subscribed because I have so many awesome videos coming your way. But I like to take all 4 of them down and open them all up and just spend 15 minutes just looking at them for inspiration. But I usually have some type of an idea in mind, and I'm going to show you. Do I have that book here? Let me go grab it. I colored my first character in Das Land der Kleinen. I'm not going to be able to pronounce it. The Land of Small Adventures. I don't know for sure what it says, from Rita Berman. I do have a full flip through of this book on my channel. So I grabbed these color cards because I wanted this to be a Christmas page. This was in my Christmas plans video also. So I grabbed these 2, and let me show you. You're getting a sneak peek. The page is not done. I love how she's coming out. She's such a cutie. So I grabbed this card because I knew I wanted pinks and reds for her. I did add green, and it's not on the cards because we don't have to be tethered to this. We can tweak it and add more colors. And then I have these colors for her. And and I also kind of carried it over into the mug. It made it so much simpler. And these are going to be my color schemes for the rest of the page. This is a page I am working on for my Studio Masters members. Did you know I have a membership Friends, you never have to join if you don't want to. I am always going to put content out that hopefully you want to see. I do put a lot of polls up and I do live streams. So definitely get involved so that you help to shape the content of this channel. I wanted to offer an even more in-depth vibe. So I do have different membership tiers. There's a button underneath the videos if you are already subscribed that says join. If you click it, you're not automatically joined. It's not like they charge you to do that. So you can kind of see the different tiers. So many of my friends said they love this. They love the membership options. I found that these cards and using the swatch decks just made my life so much easier. And friends, I want easy. Who's with me? So that is how I'm using the swatch decks and the color cubes. I do have a full review and unboxing of the color cubes. That was the first video I ever put up on my channel. I also have links to everything below if you want to check that out. Next up, we have the Ohuhu Honolulu Bee alcohol markers. I do have the full set of this. I picked this up on Black Friday and I'm really glad I did. I love having so many colors. It really is a game changer with alcohol markers because I'm not going to blend them the same as with oil paint. So having more colors just makes life easier. I really love this style because it's easy for me to take the cap off. The other ones that I have, because I do have some other sets, the other ones that I have, I can't get the cap off very easy. So this has the brush tip on one side and the fine point, the bullet tip, the fine on the other. They didn't have the soft chisel with the brush tip. If they did, I absolutely would have bought that, but they did not have it when I purchased this. One of the ways I love to use alcohol markers is for basing coloring pages. It just makes life so simple. It goes on so smoothly. It dries and it doesn't like warp a page. So let me show you some examples of how I'm using alcohol markers. So this is my book. I know you guys have already seen it. So this is one of the pages I just did. I showed this in my Sunday Vibes. I based this entirely in alcohol markers. It took me about 5 minutes to do this. That's awesome because now I'm ready for pencils. And another one, I based that one. I love berries. That one, let me see, where is... This here, I do have a full tutorial on my channel. I based everything in alcohol markers and I came over the top with Prismas. Again, my way of using Prismacolors to make life easy. This was a very quick win. I love how it turned out. And then another example of alcohol markers is just to use alcohol markers. This page was done entirely with alcohol markers and I used different shades of the same color in order to provide depth. You could come back over the top with colored pencils if you want. I did use my Signo Uniball white gel pen to put a little bit of highlights on the lights up here. So that's another way in which I love to use alcohol markers is simply just to use alcohol markers. Another thing that I've been doing with the colorless blender, where is that book? Do I have that book here? I do. Friends, I get so warm. I think it's all the lights on. I've got some pretty bright lights on to light me up over here. And your girl gets hot. So another example of the way in which I'll use alcohol markers, in particular the colorless blender, is with this page. I used NeoColor IIs and an alcohol marker colorless blender. There is zero like warp. You can't feel anything on the paper. I didn't even activate this yet. And I love this. I really want to experiment more with using it this way. But I love that I have so many alcohol markers because they are so versatile. Do you like alcohol markers? Are you using them? I want to do a lot more with them, but because my coloring books are double-sided, most of them, let me show you this though, because I showed you what I did here. So with this page, On the back, 0 bleed through. So you can use the colorless blender from the alcohol markers in your double-sided coloring books. Always test it. I guess it's possible it wouldn't work in one of the books. It's been a game changer for speed and smoothness because I'm really big into like smooth. Another example of the colorless blender with the alcohol marker on a page is so I use the colorless blender on these three, and these three I used waters. This is Derwent's. I did show this. I showed this in my Derwent video. If you missed that, it'll be linked somewhere. And I really like using the colorless blender better than water. I have this thing, friends. I don't like feeling on the page. It bothers me. And then there's like warp, 0 bleed through. I say it's a win-win. So I really love using the colorless blender in this way also. Next up, we have the Faber-Castell Polychromos colored pencils. If this is not the first time you're here, then you will know this is by far my favorite pencil. I love these flipping pencils. They are not in here because I'm not going to be wrestling with this every time I want to color. So I have them in this bag also. Polychromos pencils are the holy grail of color, vibrancy, and just fun, flipping fun. I am a layerist, so I love to build depth by using colors you may not expect to be in an area. But as an example, let me show you. Going back to Tales from a Forest Kingdom, I do want to keep this here to protect. I'm not so interested with protecting this page as protecting her. In her face has so many different colors. There's purple in there. There's green in there. There's blue. There's colors you may not think are in skin, but it is. One of the things that really helped me with my coloring pages is to approach them the way I approach my art, which is coloring what I see and not what I think I see. What I mean by that is when we think about skin, we might think of, well, depending on the skin tone. So somebody with my skin tone, pink, maybe light peach, and very, very pale brown. But there's actually blues and purples and greens in my skin that if I'm squint my eyes and I look in the mirror, I can see it. But if I paint or color by what I think I see, I'm going to really limit myself. At first, when I started coloring, I was intimidated and thinking, I'm not going to be able to get so many colors in there. You absolutely can with the Polychromos. As an example, the hair I just started in Polychromos. Her hair is actually going to be brown, but I'm putting purples and pinks and oranges in here as an undertone, and then it's going to shine through. There's at least 7 layers on her hair right now, and there's going to be significantly more. So when I think about depth, if building depth is something that you want, Polychromos pencils, without a shadow of a doubt, are what help me to elevate my coloring pages. Another example I have is in World of Flowers. So all of these pots, and I know you guys love these pots. You've told me that you really want me to do a tutorial on this, and it is coming soon, my friends. All of the pots were done with Polychromos. Look at the depth that I was able to get in this one pot. And there's so many layers, so many colors, violets, purples in this clay pot. This one, there's greens. You can kind of see it. This is how I was able to take these pages that I was so intimidated by and really elevate them to be more a style of art than the way that I was limiting myself by thinking I had to do things super flatly. I don't know if that's the right word, simply. That might not be the right word, but hopefully you're picking up what I'm throwing down. Another example of Polychromos is in Wonderful Wildflowers by Johanna Basford, this page. This entire flower illustration and the butterflies, the background was done in something else, is entirely Polychromos. I did use a little bit of Artex acrylic markers and some glitter on top, but all Polychromos. This full tutorial on my channel for how to achieve this. I was able to get so much depth, and by using interesting color combinations inside of these flowers to really bring it to life. Let me check Polychromos off the list. Next up, Caran d'Ache NeoColor IIs. I did not love these as soon as I bought them, friends. I have the full set and I love them. You can see which ones I use more often. Like this is a color I definitely gravitate to a lot. This is light blue. I have used these in double-sided coloring books. I've used them to base so many different things. I want to actually push myself even farther with these. I absolutely love these crayons. Like my husband, when I first got into adult coloring, he's like, "Are you using crayons?" I'm like, "Heck yeah, I'm using crayons." So let me show you some examples of how I use these in books. Let's grab Tales from a Forest Kingdom again, because this is how I created this stunning background, and it was so simple. I will say I absolutely love the paper in Hannah Carlson's books. Very minimal warping, and the paper feels great. Very simply, I was able to achieve this. There is a full tutorial on my channel. This was just a few layers, and very simply, no pencil work over the top, all NeoColor IIs. Let me show you another example. Hidden Oceans by Rita Berman. This is a long-standing whip. Long-standing, I've been coloring for 2 months, friends. The entire background was done with NeoColor IIs. It's so vibrant. The speckled effect I was able to achieve so simply by using just 3 crayons. 3 crayons, friends. I have no pencil over that except just a little tiny bit on the bubbles. I am planning a full bubble tutorial because I know you guys asked for that. So I really love basing pages, especially backgrounds, with NeoColor IIs because it just lays down so stinking beautifully. Do you guys have the NeoColor IIs? I'm a huge fan. I did try the gelatos, and I'm sorry. I know you guys really wanted me to like them. I didn't, so I sent them back. I love the NeoColor IIs, and I don't want to have supplies just to have them if I'm not going to use them. And because I have so many of the NeoColor IIs, I don't know. I'm always interested in trying more things, and I want to hear the suggestions that you have. So definitely keep them coming, friends. Next on the list is erasers. Wait a second. Erasers are one of your top 10 supplies? Yes, my friends. And I'm going to tell you why. First of all, this flipping eraser, it's cordless. I love this thing. I actually use this to draw. Like I use this as art. This eraser, I think I use in almost every single page, and it might be a little intimidating at first, but if you can get past that, it's freaking awesome. This came with a whole bunch of other nibs and small sizes, like very small and this size. It's chargeable. I've recharged. I've only done it one time. And I use this thing every single day. I highly recommend it. I have not used other brands of it, but I absolutely love this thing. It's always with me whenever I'm coloring. I did put these in the same category because it's the eraser category. And it is by the same company. I'm not affiliated with them, okay? It's just, this is what I've tried and I really like it. So this pencil sharpener is one that you stick the pencil in and just hope for the best. What I mean by that is it's automatic. You don't tell it when it's done. It decides. For my Polychromos, I have this all the way, that's usually where it is. And for my Prismacolor, I will do it to that angle just to make it a little bit shorter. And just to show you kind of an example, I'm sure I have a pencil in here that needs sharpening. So you see this pencil right here can definitely use sharpening. So I'm going to turn it to the side, the Polychromos side. Stick the pencil in, let go. It spits it out, and friends, my friends, it spits it out flipping perfect. You don't have to even think about it. I have had to recharge this only one time. I would carry, I'm not going to take this to restaurants when my husband and I are doing our word searches, but this is always by me, always. So let me show you a couple of examples in books so that you can see. So let's go back. Let's go back to World of Flowers. This line right here that I created, I colored the pot. Then I took this eraser and I went diagonally because I didn't want it to be a straight line. And then I came back over the top with the colored pencil because I wanted a harsher line, but not too harsh. Very easy way of achieving highlights and focal points. So that's one example. Another example is in Wonderful Wildflowers by Johanna Basford. So I was able to get a lot more depth on the flowers and on the leaves by using that eraser. Really can't recommend it enough. What kind of eraser do you use? I would love to know. The next art supply that can absolutely elevate a coloring page into art is the Lightwish Homemade Soft Pastels. I got these for Black Friday, for my Black Friday haul. And friends, I am so impressed with these pastels. Like, so impressed with them. There's such a variety of colors. They are so smooth on a paper that I'm not even scraping it off onto a palette. Friends, I'm drawing directly onto my coloring page. That is a game changer. I've mentioned this before. I've made my own soft pastels. As soon as my office/studio is done, I plan on doing a full tutorial on how to do that. Are you interested in something like that? Please let me know. So I want to show you an example of how I'm using these soft pastels in a coloring page. I use them in Merry Christmas by Hannah Carlson, and we started this page on a live stream. You guys voted, and this page is done. I am in love with how this page turned out. Do you love it? I love it. There is a full tutorial. It started on the live stream, and then in my Sunday Vibes, I show how I completed this page. All of these trees were not here. Hannah's drawing had no trees. They're made entirely with those pastels, just like that. So simple. I fell in love with those pastels. Was this the first time I used them? Friends, I don't know how I have such bad memory because it's only been 2 months, but I can't seem to remember anything. I don't think that was the first time, but now I can't for the life of me remember what other page I was doing it in. So I'm going to it was the first time I made trees with these pastels, and they're not like pointy, and they were perfect. Absolutely perfect. They went down like a dream. I did fix this page. Absolutely love it. I use pastels for backgrounds. I previously was really recommending the Arteza soft pastels, and you would have seen a background, like the background in my fox was the Arteza. The background on this page was the Arteza, and I really did like it for that. Did I not use these? I know I use these in a background. What other background? This is the only page in this book that I did. So this page here, I'm going to put a photo on the screen of what the background on this page look like. I do plan on finishing this very soon. It might even be finished by the time you watch this video because this is a buddy color and I want to get it done. The background was a disaster because of those gelatos. I did film all of this. So if you are a studio member, you are going to get to see how to save a page. So definitely look into that if you're interested. I came over the top with those soft pastels and I love it. It went from being a background I couldn't stand, and I don't know why I'm in my dark era. Like my husband's like, you really gravitate towards dark. Friends, I do. Able to achieve clouds so simply. I love it. Absolutely love it. I did fix this page. There are at least 6 layers of fixative on this page. I think pastels are my favorite medium right now, especially for backgrounds. I love using pastels in the background. It is so easy. They are messy, but if you want to elevate your page to go from maybe, I'm not saying your stuff is boring, but what I saw with mine, more just flat, lifeless, to holy cow, it looks like a painting. Those soft pastels, game changer. Next up are the Derwent Inktense. Friends, you told me to buy these and I listened, but I really should have bought more. 24 is definitely not enough. And so I have a video on where I swatch these all out and I use them for the first time. They do sharpen like a dream. In my sharpener, you just stick it in and hope for the best. They're very vibrant, but I will say, I put those swatches away. Let me grab it out because I want to show you. In my Inktense swatches, there's so many colors that are similar. Like, did I really need these 3 shades of blue? No, maybe one of the blues, because then I have really not very many greens. And look at all these dark colors. This is white. I would never buy white, not with something like this. So I was actually pretty disappointed with the color range in this. I did consider sending it back and just saving up for the full set. But I want to challenge myself for how can I use these colors and blend them together, combine them, because with Inktense, you can build layers because they're permanent when dry. You're not going to reactivate them. So let me show you something I just started working on. I'm super excited about. Diane Defar Bout de Pois. I don't know how to say this. I have a flip through of this. I don't know if it's live by the time you watch this video. If not, it's coming soon. I absolutely love this, and I love the size of this book. Do you like small books? I find a lot of my friends say that you guys tell me you prefer big books. I think I prefer small books. I'm going to gravitate more towards this and Small Victories because I can sit and color in the dark. That's what I love to do. Sitting on my couch all cozy. It's a very different vibe than coming onto my counter or something like that. I might change my mind when my studio is done. So you're going to get a sneak peek at a whip. I based this entire page with the Darwins, and holy cow, I am in love. There's 2 coats. Is it 2? I did film this, and there's about 3 layers on this. And I also was taking paint directly from the point and applying it. I love how this is coming out. I am using Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cube cards. I don't know why it's not in here. I think I moved them so that I wouldn't, I have cards everywhere, friends. Literally, the color cards are everywhere. I have so many of them out of the box. I'm going to have to spend some time putting them back where they belong. I don't know how I'm going to finish the page just yet. I'm probably going to come over the top with Prismacolors. One of my favorite things to do. I could use my Artex markers also, but I think I'm going to use the Prismacolors. I was able to get such depth, and I love the vibe. I love the vibe. Do you have this book? I love the owl too. I have a thing for owls. So that's how I'm really enjoying the Derwent. I have one other example of the Derwent is in Small Victories. This was in, I would have showed this in my swatching. I did just show this a few minutes ago. So I like how vibrant it is. The Derwents are definitely, these are the Studlers, which these are not, I guess, meant to be as vibrant. And there's a time and a place for that. I really want to get other colors of the Derwent. Like, I really don't have purples, which purples and blues, violets, those are the colors I'm going to gravitate towards the most. I am interested in trying out Derwents on portraits, like to do an underpainting of a portrait. So stay tuned for that. My friends, you've made it to this point. What is the 10th supply, coloring supply I'm using to elevate my pages into art. Friends, you're not going to believe this. My Tombows. I can't even believe I'm saying this because I've had such trouble with these doggone things. So I have the 48 set. I think this is 48. I have the 48 set. One of the things I love about this is the case. I don't want to have to just keep buying cases because cases aren't free, friends. I put this one in upside down. I love this size of a pack. I may end up wanting to buy more of them because I did have, or I might still, I do have the full set. I think it's the full set on my Amazon wish list, but I really wanted to push myself with this. I haven't done entire paintings or coloring pages with this. It's more of a background underpayment or subject underpayment, and I love it. I have really gotten very familiar with the colors so that I'm able to grab them without even looking at my swatches. I do have the zigs. I'm not loving them, and I'm going to show you why in a second. I love these. I love the tips on them. Let me show you with this one. I love the nib on this. I love the stiffness of it. It's not too long. I like how big the nib is. Then the other side, I don't use that side, but you have the bullet tip, the little fine point. These are not artist grade because I don't believe they have light fast ratings, but I'm using them in coloring books. I'm not using them in commissioned paintings that I'm doing for someone. What I love the most about these is I can grab them, sit on my couch, and color in the dark without any fear. I'm just coloring. I'm laying things out. I'm being creative, and I have used them in so many books. So let me show you. I went to town one night, friends. Where's that page? In Johanna Basford's Small Victories. This double page spread, which it isn't, but I'm calling it, is based entirely in Tombows. I can't color in the lines, but what I did here was coloring with my heart, which is the way I like to do it. And I'm just grabbing out a color almost randomly. Like I just stick my hand in the bag, grab one, and I'm like, where can I put this? And then I put it everywhere that I thought, I did this page first, that I would want the color. And the whole entire page is based. It feels great. No issues whatsoever. No bleed through. Oh, there is bleed through. I love how it feels. I did go in and do 2 coats in some places. I don't recommend doing that because there is some bleed through when you do 2 coats. So don't do that. This page, there's really 0 bleed through because I just did the 1 coat. I know do I not have any more in here? No, that's another book. Let me grab another book to show you. My favorite book to use Tombows in is Erie's Romantic Country. I cannot believe how smoothly these daggone things go down. So everything is Tombows except for what I showed earlier. And I think I'm going to just do the background with the Tombows also just to get it in real quick. It feels perfect. There is 0 bleed through. The page is not warped at all. It was so fast. It was so fast to do this. And I don't even have a lot of colors, but I'm not going for the final color. I'm going for the middle value. And I'm going to come over the top with my Prismacolors. And it's such an enjoyable experience. With this other page, I tried the zigs. And friends, this is what happened. Look at this. And this was several layers. So maybe I'm not being fair because the Tombows did bleed in Johanna Basford's book, but this is significant bleeding through. It feels okay though. That's the zigs, but the Tombows are just easier. I find them easier to use, so I'm really enjoying them. Another page I based with Tombows is in Fairy Tales and Folklore by Emily Lederhol Olberg. Friends, I cannot pronounce things. You already know this about me. I'm not sure when I'm ever going to finish this page, but I will at some point. But I had such a blast basing it. How can I never find anything? Based entirely in Tombows, and it felt absolutely perfect. No warping. No bleed through to the other side. This paper is phenomenal, by the way. It's super smooth, which is why I wanted to start with markers. And then I came over the top, and you can see where I've started to use Prismacolors with my basing, middle value, and coming over the top. You can see these were pretty much the same color. So the base shines through and it just gets rid of the white of the paper. Not that you necessarily have to. I just like to see the vibrancy of the color. It's very inspiring to me. And I was able to lay this color in so easily. So yes, my friends, Tombows made it to my top 10 list. Can you believe it? Now I want to show you some runner-ups. My first runner-up are the Ohuhu Fine Line Drawing Pens. These came in a set, and friends, I flipping love these things. I love them. I use these on every single page. I feel like I do, and I'm going to show you an example in a second. What I love about this set is that you have everything from a brush, which I don't really use this that much, to like the teeny tiniest, where is it? The 0.05. Look at the size of this thing. That is like the smallest little point I've seen. I love these, and I will be buying more of these in the future. So let me show you. So in Rita Berman's book, I used the fine liner to add more black into her face, more black into her eye, not into her face. And just to really deepen it. Where else have I used it? Let me show you it. I don't want to show you that example yet because I'm going to save that for the completed pages. Sometimes I end up coloring over the black lines too much and they disappear. So I might use the Ohuhu fine liners to bring the lines back in. I know many of my friends don't want the lines in there and you're whiting them out, but if the lines are already there, then I want them to be there. So I really love the Ohuhu fine liners for that. I also use them in journaling, like as I'm setting up my planner, but it's so awesome to create these tiny little dots, and because you can draw a very fine line. The other thing that I'm using, and it kind of goes along with supplies that are super helpful, is I'm using them to draw these lines. So these are the lines that came, but that finest point is the same thickness. So I'm able to, and it's also permanent. So you put it down, it's not going to smear. You can paint over it. You can use mediums over it and it will not bleed through. That in and of itself is why I cannot recommend them enough if you need a fine liner. The next honorable mention, I don't have the original packaging for these, are these, the Pentel Sparkle glittery pens. I flipping love these pens. I gravitate to these more than anything. I gravitate to these more than the Languo. The Languo did not make the cut. It didn't make the cut. I don't know if it's because I just hate the case so much that it's so difficult to get them out that that's a deterrent, or if they're also not sparkly. I'm more prone to sparkle. These lay down so beautifully. They're comfortable because they have this on there, but it's not like I'm using them enough to do that. I'm going to show you an example in this book with Rita Berman. So can you see that sparkle on her eye? That was done with my Pentel Sparkle. I flipping love it. I also used it. I tried Languo. I wasn't happy with it, so I came back over the top with that right here. I love using that sparkle. Another example of where I used that, oh, it's not in this book, is in Johanna Basford's Wonderful Wildflowers. I used it to create the sparkle. It's going to be really hard to see. Did I use it? I did. So I used it for some of the sparkle that's on the butterflies. I used it to put some bling on this poinsettia. in my Cozy Winter Word Search book. Another book I used it in is Johanna Basford's Lost Ocean. I used it like crazy in here. So let me see. Where's the sparkle? I didn't use it on that page. So this was one of the first books I ever colored in. Ah, here it is. This is right when I first got them, and I made all of these sparkles with the red. I love how it's coming out. So I can't recommend these enough if you want some bling, some sparkle. I'm definitely going to gravitate to these. They also flow better. These can go over Prismacolor. Some of the other ones, they're not showing up. So I gravitate to these more than any of the others, without a doubt. I love the shine. The other thing I really like is that the color is what it says. So if I'm grabbing purple, it's purple. It may not be the exact shade, but some of the other ones I have, like I have these grabbies, and what you see is not what you get. And then I need my swatch cards, which I use my swatch cards, but sometimes I don't want to think, friends. So the last runner-up for today's video is this stinking cute pencil bag. This daggone pencil bag holds so many pencils. I have the full set of Polychromos. I have the full set of Prismacolor. And I have extra space. Zips up really well. It is so stinking cute. It's got a handle. It has an extra pocket here. I could absolutely see carrying this around, like maybe not to restaurants when you're coloring, but definitely I'm grabbing this bag every time I color. And I know both of my beloved sets of pencils, my top 2 pencil sets for non-water-based activating pencils, are in the same case. It's so much better. Before I had like one in this bag, one in another. And then these bags here, there's like, you got it like 3 pencils that you hold, and then I can never put them back right. One in each slot. They go back where they go. I flipping love this case. I can't speak to its durability because I've only just got it, but the fact that they're so stinking cute was another bonus. I don't have cats, but I think cats are super cute. I did pick this up on my Black Friday haul. Definitely watch that if you missed it. What did you think about my top 10 choices and the runners-up? What would you have picked? What are your favorite art supplies, coloring supplies to elevate your pages? If you made it to this point in the video, will you put a paintbrush or a palette so I know that you are still here? Friends, I love you guys. I love hanging out with you, spending time with you. Thank you so much for being here with me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, friends.